Good morning.
Hi.
It's bright and early, 6:30 I think, and we're headed to Theo's daycare. And it's been a while, times have been tough over here. Mega's still dealing with her bladder kidney issues and she just had a surgery, which she's recovering from. Felix is getting big and we're headed to Starbucks first, then Theo's daycare. What do you get from Starbucks?
Bacon,
Egg bites, and I have been getting something new. A nitro cold brew, which really breaks the bank. I think this is $5. So I bring this creamer with me in the car. It's really tasty. They have an unsweetened version, but I've actually been getting the sweetened version lately. It's 3 carbs per tablespoon, so I probably get like 6 carbs worth out of this easily. But it's really tasty, enjoyable. I bring it in the car with me, add it, and I drink on my way home. And it's like mainly coconut milk, and there's like some mushrooms and stuff. I don't really buy it for the mushrooms, I just buy it because it tastes good. Here's Felix, he's beautiful. And something I try to do in my morning routine at about 8:30 is to get some sun in my eyes in the morning. But our house is like, doesn't get a lot of sunlight, so it's hard to find a spot where there's sun. Maybe over here. So Felix is about 8 months old, I think. So I usually just do it for 5 minutes. The reason I do the sun in the morning is just to help with your circadian rhythm. Basically, let your body know that it's sunny out, the sun's out, it should be awake. It's good to watch the sun set too, but I don't really ever do that. But I do have a red light, so at night I'll like read with a red light and it kind of simulates the sun set. I don't know, do a lot of you guys get this urge where it's just like you want to give up all this and just like go live in the woods? Do you ever feel that? Sometimes I feel like just all this is not the way it's supposed to be. There's a movie, I forget what it's called, but it's like Viggo Mortensen just lives with his 4 kids, I think 4 kids, 5 kids maybe, in the woods. Okay, it's about 11 a.m. I'm just working at the computer like usual, and I have my lunch. And this is what I've been going with lately, just a steak. I cook it in the air fryer. I think it's 12 ounces. And it's just really easy. I put it in the air fryer 15 minutes from frozen, so it's like pretty rare on the inside, and it's just an easy routine. It fills me up and it keeps me productive, and it's just pretty quick. I take like a small break and I watch YouTube videos and stuff while I'm eating, and then I get back to work. Actually, I'm gonna go for a little walk today. I've been trying to just switch up my routine a little bit because sometimes I feel like at the end of the day I'm not productive. I'm just like kind of tired and I start to just, you know, watch YouTube videos, Twitch TV and stuff. But if I take like a 30-minute walk in the sun and then I come back and I like refocus, I'm usually productive a little bit longer on into the day. I haven't been working out too much, like lifting wise, just doing more casual like walking and taking the kids on walks, taking them to the park and stuff. And we have a sponsor for today's video. LMNT. They make delicious electrolytes. Each of them has, as you can see, 1,000 milligrams of sodium, 200 milligrams of potassium, 60 milligrams of magnesium, perfect proportions. And the main thing is they taste great. Best tasting electrolytes on the market by far. I've tried most of them. I guess not all of them, but I've tried most of them. They come in a ton of different flavors. My personal favorite as far as the fruit flavors goes is this one, raspberry. Watermelon is also great. They have orange, they have lime, but the best one they make, in my opinion, is this chocolate one. You can put it in your coffee. You can put it in like hot chocolate. I make Theo hot chocolate before bed sometimes. He likes that. You can maybe put it in your smoothie. I've never done that, but that could be good. Just really great stuff. The taste is exceptional. You can put it in a water bottle like about this size, and it easily flavors the entire water bottle. And special offer you guys can get if you go to the URL drinklmnt.com/KetoConnect, which I'll link that down below. That's where you go to get this offer. It is a sample pack, which is 8 flavors. All you pay is $5 for shipping in the US. Pick these up, guys. Give them a try. Go to the link down below, drinklmnt.com/KetoConnect. It's about 3 o'clock. I got some errands to run. I'm going to go to the grocery store, so I'll show you what I get. I've been making bone broth a lot lately, so I'm going to get some stuff for that. I have beef bones in the freezer, but I usually get like a whole chicken, a small one. Sometimes they have chicken backs, they're called, but they haven't had those lately. So I'm just gonna probably get like a whole chicken. Gotta go to the bank, might go to the bookstore. I've been really into World War II lately. That's my new thing. There's a series on Netflix. It's called Hitler's Circle of Evil, I think it's called. And it talks about like all of the people around Hitler, like all of his lieutenants and like, you know, all the people like vying for power within the party. And I've seen most of the history documentaries on Netflix, and the one, my all-time favorite, is called The Last Tsars. It covers like the Russian Revolution through the perspective of Tsar Nicholas the second or third, I can't remember. But through his eyes, like as he's losing power, and you know, it's just really great story. Keto stuff has kind of not been on my mind as much lately because Mega's health issues and like the kids 24/7. It's like I'm in a totally different life situation than I was when I started the channel. So I got to recapture some of my former glory. Because, you know, when I started the channel, or when we started the channel, I was like doing health experiments. I feel like I figured a lot of stuff out though. When I first started the channel, I was still kind of searching and figuring a lot of things out, but I feel like I just have a pretty good nutritional framework. So it's less like I'm discovering new incredible things that I want to share. And it's more of just like doing the simple, easy things day to day. So there's not a lot of like revolutionary stuff I can bring you guys, but I have been, I guess, getting more into like lifestyle stuff as opposed to just focusing as much on diet. Like a few lifestyle things that make a big difference. I've tried a lot of them and I still have to build the cold plunge. I'm ordering a few things and I'm going to actually like make a legitimate one. It's going to cost around $1,000, I think, total, the cold plunge. I'll show you how I make that. My dad's going to come here, I think, and help me do it because I have no handyman skills whatsoever. But as far as lifestyle things that have the biggest impact, I would say the number one biggest, which I don't stick to all the time, is reading before bed with a red light as opposed to screens. That's a big one. If you fall asleep more naturally like that, definitely just helps you sleep. You feel more rested in the morning, more energy. Getting some sun in your eyes in the morning as the sun rises is a pretty good one. I haven't really been able to do a lot of sleep test stuff just because I sleep with Theo now and he is not a good sleep. He like kicks me all the time. It's not great. You know, one thing that I will say I enjoy, and it gives me a short-term really great feeling, but I don't know the long-term, if it really does much long-term, the Wim Hof breathing technique. If you guys don't know what it is, you kind of like hyperventilate for about 90 seconds and then you do a long breath hold for like 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. And it's just like a breathing technique. You can look it up online. It's about a 20-minute program. Your arms go kind of numb and stuff, and you just get like this really trance-like state, very like deeply meditative. And you kind of like forget where you are in the whole process, like how many rounds you've done. It's kind of like a good, I feel good afterwards for about 1 to 2 hours, but I don't know that it really has like a long-term effect if you do it regularly. Still unsure about that, but it's something I do. I try to do it once a week on Sundays. Those are the big ones, I guess. All right, I stopped at Whole Foods. They did not have the chicken I was looking for. They barely had any chicken. And how concerned are you guys getting about food shortages? On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm at like a 4. There's no real upside in not being prepared, although I would say we're not that prepared. So maybe we should get a little more prepared. I just always think like the government's never going to tell you that tomorrow there's no food, right? So you kind of got to be prepared because it could happen at any time. I got just like some basic stuff, some avocados. I got Theo some stuff, just like some meat bars. Got some eggs, some frozen like berries and stuff because I think I'm going to do a smoothie tonight. I got this for Theo. He likes these a lot. They're pretty good. It's only 9 grams of sugar for this. Well, it's 12 grams of carbs, 9 grams of sugar. It's pretty good ingredients. It's whole milk yogurt with just like some fruit added and nuts. Yeah, so he likes these and it's just a good, easy way. Mainly I'm like concerned about him getting calories in, although he's a little bit on the chubby side still. But it's not as much about like the quality of food he eats, although that is a factor, but also just like things he will eat. He's not that picky, but you know, he likes tasty stuff like this. I got some berries and I got some of these, which I think maybe I've gotten once before. Kind of nice because I'm gonna put it in my smoothie. I got Theo some arancini balls as just like a little treat. He'll like those, I think. I'll like to give him like a little treat when he's on his way home from daycare because he's really hungry and he's just like, what do you got for me? And then I'll just say like, I got something really special. And then he says, oh, I'm excited. That's one of the things I always think about is like, obviously we always try justifying our own life decisions, but like if I didn't have a kid and I was just like a 33-year-old man with no kid, like nothing would really make me that happy. You're just always at like a 6, you know? You're never at a 10. You're never at like Christmas morning as a 10-year-old, which is like a 10. It's like the most exciting thing ever. But having a kid and him being at a 10, it kind of gets you to like a 9. Whereas I just feel like that's not achievable without kids. Maybe it is for some people, it's not for me. Oh, I picked up some books. So my previous obsession was Roman history. I got this one book on Scipio Africanus, who is like a Roman emperor. This one will probably just sit on my bookshelf for a while. This, which I'm excited for, Inside the Third Reich, memoir by Albert Speer, who I have recently learned is He was like kind of climbing up the ladder with Hitler. He was like his architect, chief architect. And so this will have a bunch of firsthand. I like the firsthand accounts a lot. And then I just got this one because it looked good. And I feel like I've heard the name Flyboys. And I think maybe it's a movie or something. Do you want this?
How is it fun?
Or do you want this?
I want this.
What's in there?
Chicken.
And a cheese ball.
I don't like chicken.
There's a cheese ball though.
Oh yeah.
Try the cheese ball. You don't want that?
I have it.
You want?
Where's my spoon?
I got a spoon for you.
Can I put it off? I don't know how to put it off. Big.
Oh. Is it good? Strawberry. And I am going to have one of these on the way home, I decided.
Oh.
He's eating his cheese balls. Is it good? Is it good?
Down there.
Leo has a smoothie.
Can you put me the big smoothie in
And
my
did you go
cup?
poo-poo?
Can you put me smoothie in my cup?
Did you go poo-poo?
No, I didn't get.
Every day he comes home from daycare, he hides in the corner and goes poo-poo. And this is my dinner smoothie.
You put it in mine?
I put mine in yours. That's what's in there already.
The big one.
And he's starting to stand up. And he's very a happy baby. Look at him pulling himself up. There he goes.
He's standing. See, Bob, do you guys see Babu? He stand up.
Well, he went tumbling.
Please.
So in this is avocado, berries, mixed berries, protein powder, almond butter, and I just use water. Sometimes I use like coconut milk or coconut cream if I have it. It makes it a lot better. No, don't give that to him.
Like
Did you give it to him? Don't give it to him. And then Felix eats these puffs once in a while, which are, it's Serenity Kids brand. It works on his motor skills and it's just like a fun little snack for him. They're made of cassava flour, tapioca starch, and then like a few seasonings. So he'll have like 15 of them or so. Okay, the kids are in bed and I thought I would make a triumphant return to nutrition because I feel like I haven't really talked too much about it at all. I've just been doing vlogs. So I got the idea of like doing nutrition misconceptions. So I found a list by Food Network of 10 common nutrition misconceptions. There was one that popped up in the comments and this is one that I've looked into like a fair bit a few times, and it is the fact that microwaving food kills the nutrition in the food. And I distinctly remember, I'm not going to name names, but I had a podcast with someone and they said this. And I was like, what's the basis for that? Like, is there a study or anything? And they just kind of like went completely blank. And it was like a really uncomfortable moment on the podcast. There's like a few studies on it that say it doesn't really affect food. I think maybe if you just like cook it to death, like a lot of people do, they just put it in the microwave for like 10 minutes. That's probably bad. It probably hurts the nutrition a little bit. But in general, I don't really think so. It also probably depends a lot on what the food is. I do avoid it, but like it's not a never do in my book. Like I'll microwave food once in a while if it's easy. Okay, so foodnetwork.com, 10 nutrition misconceptions. I didn't know Food Network really did nutrition stuff like this. Number 1, you can never eat junk food. I'm a little torn on this one. Like, yeah, it kind of depends how you want to approach things. Like, it depends what you're considering junk food. Like, sitting on the couch eating a Twinkie, if that's your standard for junk food, you should never do that. I'm of the opinion, just never do that. Doesn't make sense. It's not aligning with your goals. Occasionally eating a treat when you're like out to eat or like it's this one place you really love, I'm kind of into that. Number 2, you should purchase a food because it claims to be natural. So this is one I'm very into. I think natural food is healthy, unnatural food is not healthy. Might make me a simpleton. A lot of people will think like it's more nuanced than that. I don't think it really is. Also depends what you define as natural. Like if you go to the grocery store and you buy corn because it's natural, I guess there's varying degrees of natural. Yeah, corn comes from nature, but it's obviously been genetically modified, selectively bred over the last century mainly, last couple centuries. I would consider that not really a natural food, but in general, yeah, natural foods are healthy in natural amounts too. You have to think of that. So if you go and you buy like a bag of cashews and you just eat those, or like cashew butter, which is really tasty, it's not really, you're not getting a natural amount of it because in nature you would never really be able to procure that amount of it. So that's another thing to consider. Natural foods in natural amounts. Natural preparation methods too. I don't think you should buy it just because it claims to be natural, but natural is a good guiding light for nutrition. You should eat flax to get your omega-3 fix. Yeah, that is a good myth. I didn't even think Food Network would be up on this. Yeah. Basically, flax isn't really a good source of omega-3s. It's full of ALA, which has to convert into EPA and DHA, which is what all the studies are referencing that's good for you. EPA and DHA, which is found in animal foods, fish mostly. ALA converts at like a really low rate. Like for some people, it doesn't convert. For most people, it's between like 1 and 10%, I think. If you exercise, you can eat whatever you want. It depends how you look at these things. Because if you live a natural life, you exercise, you eat natural foods, you can eat whatever you want. If you're only eating natural foods, over time, I think you can eat whatever you want. But that's not whatever you want then, if it's only natural foods, so I guess I agree with them. You can't eat late at night. Yeah, I mean, can't is a strong word. I would say it's recommended not to. Definitely. You kind of want to be awake when you're digesting your food. My understanding, I believe it takes like a few hours for protein and starches to leave your stomach, so eating them right before you lay down to go to bed doesn't make a ton of sense. If you're like 18, it doesn't matter that much because you're indestructible, but as you age, I think probably being more conscious of like your meal timings, it makes some sense. I wouldn't really eat too much before bed. You must drink 8 cups of water each day. Yeah, that's one that I strongly agree with. Drinking tons of water a day doesn't make a lot of sense. Drink when you're thirsty, especially if you're eating a natural diet, you're drinking natural liquids, stuff that really upsets your natural hydration levels, like coffee, flavored drinks, bunch of processed foods with a ton of sodium in them. If you're not doing that, then you just drink according to your thirst and you should be fine. Number 7 is it's important to buy organic food whenever possible. It's not the most important. I think it's good to do. But some things, it's like a little deceptive, like organic eggs. It just means the chicken's fed organic soy. So like, is that good? I guess it's better, but it's not as good as buying chickens' eggs that eat their natural diet. I mean, there are like workarounds and loopholes, and like if you go to the local farm or you order from a farm delivery service, it may not be certified organic, but it's going to be better than going to the grocery store and buying like something from Chile that's organic. So in general, I do buy organic produce, especially meat, yes. Budget dependent. I wouldn't stress too much over it. That's one thing. Number 8, you must take a multivitamin every day. No. It's actually very dumb to take a multivitamin. Multivitamins make sense if you're held hostage and your only form of nutrition is a multivitamin. Like I saw this movie, was it called The Room, I think? And she's like held captive for years and she finally escapes. It makes sense for her to take multivitamins because she can't eat food. So, yeah, if you can eat food, you get vitamins from food, so just eat food. That would be what I would do. Most multivitamins are full of synthetic vitamins also. With most things, you have to look at the pros and cons. If your diet's very healthy, 100% on point, multivitamin is bad for you. If your diet's really bad, McDonald's every day, multivitamin's probably a net positive. If you're held captive in a room for decades, multivitamin's essential. 9, wheat and whole wheat bread is the same thing. This one's a little confusing. All wheat is not created equal. Look for 100% whole wheat on the label to make sure you're getting the healthier parts of the whole grain. You'll find that wheat bread contains much less fiber than 100% whole wheat bread. I wouldn't buy either. The main thing, like when I buy Theo bread, which he has bread because just it's easy, he likes it. So I get him sprouted grain bread. If they have ancient grain like spelt flour, things like that, like heirloom flours that haven't been selectively bred, genetically modified over the last century, that's sort of what I look for. And then sprouted just so the nutrients are more available, less anti-nutrients. So like Ezekiel bread, is that the one? Ezekiel bread, I think I get him. There's like some sprouted grain tortillas I get him. Number 10, if you're following a healthy eating plan, that means you can eat any of your favorite foods. Okay, so they need a copywriter here because if you're following a healthy eating plan, that means you can't. I need to learn how to read. If you're following a healthy eating plan, that means you can't eat any of your favorite foods. Depends what your standards you're setting for yourself are. Depends the type of person you are. I think like early on, I had more strong opinions on this, but now I'm realizing everyone's a little different and different things work for different people. If you're really strict, which I would say is a minority of people, like you're really strict with yourself, you get, you're like an extreme person, maybe loosening the reins a little bit is going to be the best path to success, where if you're the type of person who's like immediately you're like, oh, carnivore diet, that's for me, like the most extreme thing possible, you gravitate towards that. Maybe being more moderate, being like, okay, 1 day a week I'll take off from my diet, or 1 meal a week, that could be more sustainable long term, because the number one thing you want to focus on is the long term sustainability of your diet. So whatever is going to help you achieve that. If you're the type of person who is not strict with yourself, you have a hard time holding yourself accountable and following through with like the goals you set for yourself, then maybe just more of like an all or nothing approach, like no cheat days, no, I can't have my favorite food ever, or for an extended period of time, months, a couple months. That might make more sense for you, so that you know you have a really fine line. Am I doing it, or am I lying to myself? Am I breaking my promise with myself? That's it. Those are the 10, and I guess I'll show you guys my little nightly routine. So I'm reading this book right now, The 12-Week Year. Instead of having like these New Year's resolutions, you just do it quarterly, and it's more actionable. Usually a 3-month period for accomplishing a goal is a good time period. It's a good time period for starting up a new routine, or like picking up something new that you want to do. I haven't finished it, but it is good. I'd recommend it. I like it. And then I have my red lights here. So what I do is I just read my book. I have these red lights. You don't need the big ones. These are more for like, I mean, if you can afford them and you're like really interested in investing a lot of money in something that makes like a small difference. This is more like an active therapy where you're getting the near red and infrared lights like onto your skin to kind of simulate sunset. So it's sending some circadian rhythm signals to your body a little bit. A lot of this is not super well proven, although for a while I've never published the video because I didn't record the video, but I did the test. I was wearing the Oura Ring and testing what supplements helped my sleep. And I tried 7 of the most common sleep supplements. It was like glycine, CBD. The only one that had some effect, I would say, is glycine. And then after I did the supplements, I started doing the red light to see if that helped. And it actually did help. This had the most significant impact over all the supplements. But if you don't want to invest like a few $1,000 into these lights, you can just wind down with like a red light in your lamp, or like a reading headlight, or I actually have one that like attaches to the book and it just shines on the pages. It's like a red reading light. You could do that instead. But yeah, I just lay here while I read for 40 minutes and I have the lights on me. All right, that's going to do it for today. Not a lot of the kids today. I know that's like the main reason you guys watch, is to see the kids do cute things now. All right, that's going to do it, guys. Thanks for watching. Comment down below any questions, comments, concerns.